Well, it's an absolute pleasure to be speaking with you today, to say the least. Aside from talking to the fake news media, good day for you so far?
So good, so good. Good day, good day. Yep, I've been throwing a bunch of stuff in a dumpster over by the barn. We've been renovating the barn, which is the studio. So Noise Company headquarters and recording studio 2.0.
HQ, we can call it.
HQ. So it's
HQ.
almost done, but I have this dumpster and there's just a bunch of trash everywhere. And so I have my giveaway pile, my throwaway pile, my keep pile, blah, 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 blah.
Well, are you ready for some compliments, Ben?
Sure. I love
Okay, so
compliments. Who
it's great to
doesn't?
see these upcoming Sha Sha shows. And of course, that is not the best work you did. I love the self-title record, changing courses, etc. We've got wonderful things to say about all that. But I think that there is an unnamed graduation finishing school for Ben Kweller sidemen that's never been talked about, because it's usually you tour with Ben and then you become the biggest sideman on the planet in the genre. Is that something you've realized, that they all go from you to the moon?
Yeah, totally. And also, if you want to hit it big as an artist, just open up for me because they all opened for me. John Mayer, My Morning Jacket, Kings of Leon, like Lit, Fastball. We can go deep. Some of those were like one hit wonders, but we'll take it.
Lit was like a 5-hit wonder.
Lit was clearly a 5-hit wonder. That was like a strong run of hits there.
But when I say that the sidemen who went to the moon, Mark Stepro, our mutual buddy right there, backing up Eric Clapton a couple of weeks ago, Ben Kweller did it first.
Hey, that's right, man. That's right.
Aaron
I
Lee Tashin, superstar singer songwriter in his own right, Ben Kweller had him first.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Chris Morrissey, great jazz.
Jason Roberts, who became Nora Jones's person,
Yep. Yep. No, this is
etc.
Fred Elchingham is Sheryl Crow's drummer now. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. It's all it is though is that I just have really high standards for musicianship. And like I have been really lucky to find people that can play their asses off, but they are also really great people to be around because really it's the 23 hours you're not on stage that count. So,
Yeah, the good hang aspect of musicianship.
yep. So
Yeah,
now I'm
so
trying a new thing where like my bass player now was already extremely famous before joining my band. So now I'm kind of doing the reverse, you know?
yeah,
So
so
and yeah, like I don't know, and maybe he'll go off and play with some other artist. Probably he will because he's an incredible bass player. But my band right now, boy, it's the best I've ever had. And in terms of like the offstage hang dynamic, it's just through the roof with positivity, which is what
right.
I really need.
Everyone needs a little positivity. But in the case of these upcoming gigs that you have in LA, Minnesota, Chicago, and New York, and all that, you're playing the Sha Sha album, but is it Sha Sha plus another 30, 45 minutes of old songs, or is it just Sha Sha and get out of here?
Nope, it's Sha Sha Plus. And in fact, it's not okay. So when you make an album, the track listing, developing a track list for an album is its own thing. And it's different from creating a set list for a live concert. They're
Right.
two different things because, like, in an album, a lot of times you kind of want to like front load it a little bit. The temptation is definitely there more and more as our culture it has less attention for anything.
Yeah.
So you tend to front load an album, but in a concert, you got to make motherfuckers wait because you don't want anyone to leave. And especially if you got a hit, you know what I mean? You're gonna, So so the thing with Sha Sha is that like it's a great album. I like it, but it doesn't make for a really good set list. And so I'm taking liberties for sure, where I'm just kind of scrambling it up in a way that really works in a live setting. And then after that, I do some more. Well, I have a solo set in the middle.
Mhm.
I lead off with the song Lizzie, which was a solo acoustic song. So the band leaves the stage, I play Lizzie, and then that kind of brings us into the new material, like the non Sha Sha material. And yeah, and then we've been having some guests show up, which has been really fun. LA was kind of ridiculous. It was definitely like one of the best shows I've ever
Hmm.
gone before, actually. I can say that definitively. And the guests definitely helped with that, just because there was a lot of emotional stuff. I mean, we had my friend Angelo Moore, from the lead singer of Fishbone,
Yeah.
came and played saxophone on one of my son's songs, the Zev song, How I Am. And then we had Mike Campbell, the fucking heartbreaker himself, come up and play guitar on 2 tunes. And then we had Alex Greenwald and Jason Schwartzman play California, because they're the band Phantom Planet.
Yes.
Jason hadn't played drums with Alex since 2003. So literally it was 20 years since they even performed the song together. So that was like a whole other anniversary of its own. Our
Yeah.
album came out at the same time, so we were seeing each other on the road a lot back then. But the audience was incredible. But yeah, keep going. What next?
Well, the reason I was curious about that set list was I went to a 20th anniversary show a week or two ago where I saw The Darkness, and their interpretation of the 20th anniversary thing was, we're going to do the whole album out of sequence and the B-sides from that era, and that's it. I think they also put in their Radiohead cover. And then other times, people, when they do the 20th or 30th anniversary, they do it in sequence. Like I think I saw Gary Newman do The Pleasure Principle, the whole album in order, 28, 29 minutes. And then he goes into the industrial metal Trent Reznor kind of stuff. And he does his real show. So I think there's a lot of different ways to do the anniversary show.
There is. I at the end of the night, there were some fans still out, like kind of by the fence near the backstage door, and I went out and talked to them, and one of them was like, you know what, it was so cool that you played it out of order. He said, because I've been to a bunch of these, and there's, it's just like kind of boring if you know exactly what's coming next. So, I guess you could find comfort in that, because you're like, oh my God, this is the album, but that's the difference between a live setting and a controlled environment, like an album that doesn't change. Live, it's constantly changing. We are opening with the song How It Should Be, Sha Sha. Like, I want to make that clear. Like, you kind of can't do an anniversary without opening with that song. That would be a little weird. But from there,
sorry to rudely interrupt you, Ben, but one of your live cut staples from the Sha Sha era was your cover of Ice Ice Baby, which was absolutely innovative. Is that buried, or does that come back with this tour?
Wow. What's funny is like, well, I'm not doing it right now, but I often thought of that as a pre-Sha Sha situation, because part of that was really just like I was playing all the time, as many shows as I could, opening for as many people as I could. I made that Freak Out It's Ben Kweller CD, and which had the BK Baby song on it, Ice Ice cover. That was, some of that was just like deliberately me just trying to get on stage as someone as a complete nobody, to make people shut the fuck up and be like, whoa, who's this guy? I mean, you know what I mean? Like there was some strategy there, but like, and that's the thing though. It's like when you're a new artist, like it's horrible. I mean, it's a startup. It's just like starting any company. And like, and music is like the hardest, especially nowadays. This is all people ask me every day, is like, dude, how do we do it? What do we do? How do we market our band? How do I, and it's like, my goodness, like you have to be memorable. You have to do something that's unique and different. Your music can't suck. It has to be good. Maybe you will get lucky with a TikTok thing, but like if you're
Should
going to,
stick.
yeah,
That's the
if you're
question.
going to last, man, you have to have more than a handful of good songs. But you have to show that you're different. I mean, there is just so much music out there that is so generic and just like the same, here's a guy with an acoustic guitar, or here's some hip hop beat, then like the dude did it in Ableton, and like, there's like a sweet sounding vocal, but it sounds a lot like Billie Eilish, but it's not Billie Eilish, or whatever, 6 years ago it was Adele, or whoever, it's like that's now we're getting into talking about, fads and trends. I mean, that's a whole thing. That's something I've never been good at. No, I've really just tried to like be my own thing. As complicated as it is for me to explain what I sound like, I've been told that I do kind of have a sound after all these years, but
I
I still,
entirely agreed. Now, at times, are you power pop? And I know that's the most cringe term to
I like
hear
power.
as
Yeah,
somebody. Some people say singer songwriter, some say alt country, whatever it is. There is a Ben Kweller
sure.
sound. And the follow up to that Bad Ice Ice Baby question was there ever feedback from Vanilla Ice himself about that cover?
Robbie Van Winkle.
Bob,
Yeah, Bob, I don't know. Actually, I never met him. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he might not even know about it.
I would think his publishing statements would show like 7 cents, Ben Kweller, and he
Yeah, that's
turned
true.
20.
I mean, now I did get, so the only real release was Freak Out, It's Ben Kweller. Okay, now I think they did put it on the EP Phone Home.
EP phone.
EP Phone Home, which came out right before Sha Sha, I believe, had BK Baby. And I will say that I did my research and I found out who had publishing on the original Ice Ice Baby. And it was cool because it does list David Bowie and Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
So whatever. And Suge Knight is still listed. So I just, and Van Winkle, I
Yeah.
just added Kweller at the end of it. We didn't have any discussions about splits or anything, but I remember for the album artwork for EP Phone Home, I did put all the publishing names on there. I mean, I don't know. I would think maybe he got $1 or two, but I don't
We'll
know.
tag him in the social media and we'll figure out if that's the case. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
your approach is something that David Lee Roth did when he did all these covers and he'd add in new lyrics and you'd look and say Chemical Brothers / Roth.
Yep.
So Ben Kweller, David Lee Roth, same thing.
Well, I mean, it's a legit thing, and I mean, I also learned from my friend Al Yankovic, who
Yes.
I have asked him on many occasions, like, dude, how does it work? Because you took Smells Like Teen Spirit and just made your own lyrics. He said it works different ways. Like sometimes you get permission, and you can work out splits, but most of the time, I mean, so what it's considered, it's called a derivative work.
Mhm.
So what Al does in the parody universe is it's not a cover, it's a new copyrightable piece of art, but it's a derivative of a pre-existing. So BK Baby was also a derivative. But whatever. I was not doing it for the money. I was doing it for the eyeballs, and really just so people would not talk over me when I had like a 20-minute opening set at Mercury Lounge. I mean, that's really
Sidewalk Cafe or
ex-
wherever it was.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, the last thing I want to ask you about before I let you go, and I'm not fishing for an exclusive here, but sometimes when people do the anniversary thing, they're going away for a while, and other people use it as the precursor for the next album where they're going to be back or the next tour, or that kind of a thing.
Hmm.
So after these Sha Sha shows are done and 2023 is over, are we going to see more from you in 2024? Or do you go into hibernation?
Oh, I'm anti-hibernation at the moment. And I'm also not, I haven't even thought about this as a precursor to anything. I really just wanted to celebrate its existence and the milestone of it turning 2 decades old. But I am renovating the barn and it's almost done. And so new Ben Kweller album is definitely something happening soon. Also, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of yeah, I got a lot of music to record. Let's put it that way. And I'm not disappearing. I made kind of a vow to myself after Dorian died that I would not hide away, you know, and quit. So so here I am, and it's gonna be awesome.
Paltrocast.